Welcome to my first Framer tutorial, guys. Today we're going to talk about positioning in Framer. So there's 4 different types of positioning: absolute, relative, fixed, and sticky. Now let's start with fixed. Fixed is the one that you would usually use for navigation bars. If you have a navigation bar on your website and you want it to be visible throughout your website at the top of your screen, that's what you're going to select, right? So the way you're going to do it is you're going to create a stack to make your navigation bar. You're going to place it at the very top, as you can see here, of your website. Then you're going to go here on the right. You're going to select fixed. You're going to pin it to the top and left and right, 0, 0. If you want it to be smaller, for example, if you want it kind of to be a rounded box, you can make it smaller and you can change the pinning here to 50, 50, and 50 at the top, or whatever it is. And that way your navigation bar is going to stay fixed on the screen throughout your website. Now, sometimes what can happen is that some contents of your website will overlap with it. Now, in order to avoid this, you've got to increase the Z index. The way you're going to do it is you're going to go here to the right and you can increase it to 10, which is the maximum. You can also select here on the styles, Z index, and then just increase the value, and that way it will stay over all the contents of your website. Now let's move on to relative. Relative is the option that you get by default. Basically, you're creating a stack. So you're creating a frame, you're putting some text in, then you're clicking here on layout, and the text is going to be within that stack. And as you can see, I cannot move it. Why? Because it will always remain relative to the stack it is in. Now, if you want to change the positioning within the stack, the only way you can do it is to go into your stack. So click on the stack it's in, then on the layout, and then here you can align it to the left, center, right. You can also distribute it to the start. If you want the direction to be different, you've got to select these arrows here. Alternatively, you can also select those, and that way you'll be able to change the positioning of your relative text. Now let's move on to absolute. Absolute you will usually use if you want to place certain elements in certain positions of the website, right? So the way you're going to do this is you're just going to create a stack again. You're placing some text or whatever it is, a picture in it, and then you're going to select here on the positioning absolute. Now the important thing to remember here is really to pin it to the stack. So you got to select the pins that you would like to have here. You can do the top, right, left, bottom, and then insert the value. For example, if I want to have 250 here, I can also bring it closer to the right, and that way it will always stay in place, even if you change the size of your stack, as you can see here. Now you can also place it to the right, but then obviously it will change alongside the sizing, as you can see, of the stack. It will move around, which is not what you necessarily want to have. So always pin it wherever you want to pin it, and you can place it wherever, which you could not do with the relative text, right? Now the last one is sticky. Now sticky I would use if, for example, you want to place a specific element within your website and you don't want it to move while you scroll down. It's similar to fixed, but not quite the same. So the way you would do it is obviously you would create a stack again, place some text or an image in it, then go here at the top, select sticky. Now this value here is the distance it's going to be from the top of your website. So here I selected 80 because it's going to make it visible. You can also select less depending on the structure of your website. And then I'll show you how this works. It's going to stay, once you scroll down, it's going to stay at the top of your screen and it's not going to move even though you're scrolling down. As you can see, the right is moving, but the left, no. You could usually, for example, you would use it for menu, right? If you have a specific menu with different elements and you don't want them to move alongside the scrolling, you would select sticky, and that way it stays in place. Now, the important thing to remember with sticky is that you got to change the overflow of the parent stacks to visible. So the way you do this, you select the stack within which you have the text, you go here to overflow and you select visible. It's going to be hidden by default. And you do the same thing also for your desktop stack, and you got to go in here and select visible, and that way it will work. Otherwise, if it's hidden, it will not work. So don't forget to do that. And yeah, that's it. Essentially, all the positioning types in less than 5 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. If yes, leave me a like, and yeah, see you next time, guys.